Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Texas Recruited Film Twitter page. Back with another segment spotlighting programs and getting ready for the high school season. Tonight, we got Lake Highlands head coach Joe Duffield. What's going on, man?
Not much, Craig. Appreciate you having me on. Definitely first for not only what you've done for our Lake Highlands kids, but all the kids in Dallas with basketball, giving them extra exposure. The great videos that you put out. I know it's helped a lot of other kids in the area, so we really appreciate that. I want to make sure we said thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So what's going on right now? We're in off-season mode right now. How's it going for y'all?
I think it's been going good. I've been really proud of the way our guys have come in every day ready to work. I think we've had great energy, and right now we're just trying to get a little bit better each and every day.
And before we get into everything, well, actually, let's go back to we got to see them play at the TABC, or I mean, not at TABC, the Gasso Fall Shootout Classic, whatever they call it. Give me some takeaways from what you saw.
Yeah, I was definitely proud of our guys and how they played in that event. We had Trey coaching, so that was fun to see him do that. And nagging injuries that we wanted to make sure he was getting healthy with. But it really provided a really big opportunity to kind of step up and show what they could do. And I was just played two really good teams in Lancaster and high school. Really, really good players, good coaches. So those were good tests. Came away. I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that we need to get better at. It definitely showed us some. But overall, I was just really proud of how our kids competed.
Yeah. That game winner from Jalen was nasty.
Yeah, he's an awesome young man, super confident kid. Every time he steps on the floor, he thinks he can beat whoever's across from him, and I love that point guard. And he had a look earlier, and it didn't fall, and it's just him. And Quentin Perkins made a big time hustle steal to get him the ball, and I was just kind of kept their composure. We were down, I think, 8 or 10 at one point. Just kept chipping away, and then Jalen comes up with the big shot.
Yeah. So before we get too far into this, man, I want them to know who you are. So give us a little bit of history about who you are.
This is year 20 for me, coaching high school basketball. I've had a lot of different stops working under that kind of helped me, kind of shape my own philosophy on how I want to do. I'm always learning, trying to pick things up from people here and there. But my first high school job, I grew up. I went to Plano East, then went to Santa Clara University in North. I spent 1 year coaching at Mountain View High School in California. That was my first job. 2003. We had shot clocks out there back then, and still do. I wish we had. I think it's coming. But then when I came back to Dallas,
I know it's coming to the SPC.
Oh, there you go. So somebody's got it. I think UIL is going to step up. But my first job back in the Dallas area was in Dallas ISD. I spent 4 years in school, which was great. I got to coach against some really, really talented coaches and team great ones there as well. Then I was at Lake Highlands for a 3-year stint as an assistant coach. Jeff Stout and Tom Quigley were there at Bryan Adams with me, and were great. Austin area for 6 years, and I spent 3 years under Pat Brown. Then he retired. had some great teams down there, and then Lake Highlands asked me to, and made that decision, and just been trying to at Lake Highlands since then.
Yeah, so let's talk about your time at Vista Ridge, man. You you get a chance to be a head coach down there. You helped turn that program around. You go 31-5 in your last season there before you head off to Lake Highlands again. You won Coach of the Year in the district. Talk about how that helped you grow as a coach.
Yeah, it was a tremendous experience. Just in coaching in life, anytime you kind of step out of your comfort zone and kind of test, for me and my small family, like, you know, we didn't know anybody in Austin. That was kind of a big move to young, and you know, it did. We had to grow up a lot, and under Pat Brown, you know, he was a great defensive coach, just a great coach in general. A lot from him. We had great coaches on the girls' side there, you know, and also in Austin basketball. I mean, there are a lot of really good coaches down there, and it's a fraternity of coaches, and that was really great for me. Just learning from, competing against them, you know, definitely taught me a lot. And we went 31-5. I had 5 really good players coming back. It was a hard decision to leave. DFW basketball is just different, and you know, I think it's arguably, you know, when I had a chance to come back and have a great job like Lake Highlands, and knowing what the type of kids we were going to get, you know, I felt like it was the right move.
Yeah, talk about the feeling you got when you got offered that Lake Highlands job and you got a chance to come back and be the head coach of Lake Highlands.
Yeah, I mean, when we and I was working in Dallas ISD, we lived in Lake Highlands, and then had the opportunity to coach there for 3 years, and you know, it's hard to describe to people that aren't really familiar with the community, but a lot of people feel like a small town in the big city. Like, we have a great community that really battles the diversity of our school. I mean, we really have people from all walks of life. Fun to me in athletics when we bring all those different people together for a common goal. School and the community just have great support. A lot of people that went to school and their kids there. It's just a really good family-oriented place to be. So that call was definitely, you know, an honor, and I knew the program wasn't time, but I'd been a part of it when it was rolling, and Coach Rob Wiley, who was more to me and a great coach. So yeah, it was an honor. The hardest to Ridge, because I love them, and like I said, we had 5 good ones coming back. I thought we really had a chance to be really good. Well, but that's coaching, and sometimes you got to kind of take a leap of faith, and I was happy I did.
And talk about, you know, you went to Vista Ridge and built a program there, and now your job is to come back to Lake Highlands and, you know, rebuild that. Well, I mean, I don't know that success took too long. I know you had Noah and you had Preston Lawrence. Talk about what kind of weight it is when you go into a situation like that, knowing that you need to turn this program around and get it rolling again.
I don't think I ever really looked at it as weight. I mean, to me, it's more of a challenge, and I think that you know, I always knew what Lake Highlands could be, and what type of community, what type of kids we have, and but let me tell you, it wasn't just you know, some of the other programs in our own district, Richardson and at the time, Pierce, you know, and then we just had a lot of great teams and players. And when I first came back, you know, we had Coach Graham at Skyline had his great team with Marcus Gill. They were just unbelievable. And then, as they kind of leave, then we get, Richardson and Berkner were very strong. And then Pierce and Drew Timmy comes rolling in, and then Wallace for 4 years. So we definitely took our fair share of lumps. But early kind of won some big games, beat some people we weren't supposed to beat. And we really just building a new winning culture with them and getting them used to winning and understand. It took a good 2, 3, 4 years to really have everybody in our program the right way. And now you just see that, like, our kids just go about their business the right way. They work and take care of business in school and just all those little things.
Yeah, and let's get into the team here, man, because y'all have a real chance again to make a lot of noise. You've got at least, it's easy to say you probably have 5 guys that are going to play at the next level. It doesn't matter what level, they're going to play college ball. But first off, I want you to talk about Big Sam, man, and the development that you've seen him go through over the last 4 years. And I mean, I can vouch for seeing that just by his free throws.
Yep. I got to credit the free throws. I think to Coach Johnson, our assistant. When Samson came in, we obviously our summer camps and being at Forest Meadow Junior High, but came in. He's just kind of a 6'4", little coordinated, but needed some work. Had great hands and feet, and he wanted to work, and he totally wanted to learn and get better. And he played on our freshman team. Coach Johnson did a great job with him, as he does all our kids at that foundational level. And then kind of hit a growth spurt, got to about 6'8" sophomore year, and just the thing about you try to open up the gym, or we're doing stuff or doing extra stuff or weight room, man, he just a bit of it, and just works super hard and is always wanting, how else can I get better doing this or doing that? And I think that's just been a big part of it. Keeps trying to get a little bit better every day, and it's been a pleasure to watch, mostly because he's he's got a great family and is a great student, and those are and are happy when they kind of achieve the levels of success that you hope they do.
Yeah. And then talk about I'm not going to talk about Trey yet. Talk about Khalil, Quentin, and Jalen.
Yeah, all 3 of those guys are awesome kids. Was another program kid. What I think stands out to me is always positive energy. Man, he comes in and does a great job in practice. Energy. I think he's a great slasher. He can play above the rim. I think he had a good summer with Max with him. But he's definitely gonna play a big role for us this year. And then those 2 backcourt guys, Quentin Perkins and Jalen Washington, I think are 2 of the most underrated players in the state and the country. If there's any college coach watching this, if you want a guard that's going to be calling either one of those guys, they're both different. I think they're both A-ball. With Quentin, you got a guy that's just lightning quick end to end. Too many guys that have that kind of speed and athleticism. He can paint anytime he wants. And then I think the other thing about Quentin that maybe is over his defensive ability.
Yep.
He was second on our team behind Samson, at a point guard or combo guard position. He's quick off the ground, times things up really well, and then defense is something he's really special at. We play that do anything with Case and Wallace, but I think Quentin, he got the best of us, but Quentin really did a great job guarding him, and he's a huge year at Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then Jalen is special, man, and guard. He's like an extension on the court, an extension of the coach on the floor. What do you want to do next? He's thinking the game, and he's just got a good balance of getting people involved in defense, handling pressure. But then he can really score the ball. At great shooter, got good mid-range game floater, and he can get to the basket. And confidence and belief in himself that is contagious. And so we love all three of those.
And then I really was when I got to see y'all at the TABC, when y'all played at TABC, the one thing that I noticed about y'all is the role players, also the guys that come off the bench, and it's like nothing. Y'all don't lose the pace. I mean, guys come in, and you have a lot of shooters to put around all those guys. Talk about the role that they play, because I mean, from defense to offense, I mean, it flows.
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple guys that stood out there at TAB. Warren Hamilton, who's a senior, he can shoot the cover off the ball, and has really some other things really well outside of his shooting ability. But I think he was really big. Dallas Carter last week, he played great. A young guy named Lewis Racine, KMBC, Logan Strahan. We believe in how we want to play. We want to play fast. We want to play great defense, and we want to play unselfish. And so kids come to our camps when they're playing for our junior highs and our sub-varsities. That's what we always talk about. Buy into that, and we spend a lot of time shooting the basketball. And, a lot of times the toughest teams to defend are the teams that space the floor really well and how you can't help off anybody, and you can't, maybe find a weakness here and there. And so we try to do, and we want to have, space the floor really well. We want to play really, really fast and give our guys some free to do the things that they're really good at doing, and then surround them with people that can knock down shots.
Yeah, man, I know that Warren, I mean, terrific shooter.
Absolutely, and he's well right now.
Yeah. Let's get into Trey Johnson, man. Both as a player and a coach. We got to see that at Gasso. Yeah, there you go. Give us some insight as to how much you've seen him grow over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah. I think sometimes with these kids that are really special talents, I mean, that first and foremost, he's just a great young man. His parents, Richard did a great job, just raising a great young man. He's a good student. When my kids are in the gym, you watch him interact with other people's kid. As a player and his development, that's when Trey was in 8th grade, and so you kind of watch him and playing, and he'd be around our practices and open gyms, and you could always tell that the ball and his basketball IQ was always off the charts. He really could just think way beyond his age, but never did you know that he, again, what he is today. And just a ton of that credit goes to Dad. His father, Richard Johnson, and Trey put in so many unseen hours in the gym. They're working on Trey's game and adding new things to his game, and see that. He came in freshman year, and we didn't really know what to play and be a part of our rotation. And I think our first game that year we played Navy Forest as a freshman, first varsity game ever. And that we had some other guys that were really good players as well, but Trey was just solid, man. I mean, knocking it down, always made the right decision with the basketball. And then the fun thing is, the athleticism come on, his defense get better, more than a shooter, being able to make plays, passing the ball. It's just been fun, and he's a great kid, and he's just going to keep getting better.
Yeah, and so I believe from what I saw on Twitter earlier, he's the number one player on all the platforms now.
Yeah, crazy.
He seems to be he seems to be very quiet and very humble. But he speaks very loud on the court. He becomes a different person. Give us some details on, like, how much did he want this, or does he even care?
Yeah, I don't think the and being number one and all that, I don't know how much that is a motivating factor for ever since he was a young kid, and his father could speak to this better. I mean, his dad is the one who made him who he is, but yeah. I know as youngsters in AAU, they would go seeking out the players in the country when he was in third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh grade. I mean, that's what they, he was always trying to play against the best. He was always playing up, playing a grade up, and in AAU, playing 16U, playing now 17U, and I think he's a super competitive kid. He's a winner, to always be testing himself and going and trying to play against the best and beat the best. And now he is the best, and but deservedly so. I have always thought that's who he was, and now it's nice to get that recognition, but the work doesn't stop. It's not the end goal. I know he's got in front of him, and I know he's going to keep chasing him.
Yeah. And then one of the last things I got for you, man. Little change in topic. We know that prep schools are coming after Texas kids pretty hard now. Does that type of thing feel like competition to you now? Because it's like, as a head coach, you got to get out to all these games and show your face and wear your shirt and make sure people know that you were in a gym. Talk to us about that, man.
Yeah, it's definitely, we've seen a lot of kids in Dallas and Houston to go to these bigger prep schools. Is this? I mean, I think what we have in Dallas Fort Worth and in Dallas really, really special. I don't think there's any other area in the country that has high school basketball we do. Now, there's talented kids, there's talented teams. I get that, but the thing is we've got a lot of great high school coaches that work really hard. Our kids have the athletic period. We have strength and conditioning coaches. Our kids and college coaches come all the time and say, man, it has stuff like this. And, I think you've seen our kids do great things at the next level and the level after that because of that foundation. On top of that, we have great AAU programs and great directors that give our kids exposure and put the best in the nation and do a great job. And then we have great media. We have guys that do a great kids, and so when I look at it, I think a lot of people come to DFW to be up. So yes, kids go out, but a lot of kids come in. I mean, I can't tell you how many kids move to this. And I think over time, I think people will realize that maybe chase that big name national school to get the rank exposure or whatever else you think you're going to get. When you look at guys like Tyrese he's doing in the NBA right now, and 4 years at South Garland High School with Coach Parker was. You look at Drew Timme, you look at what Cason Wallace is going to do this year. I mean, I think there's some great. We're homegrown, and and the other thing about Dallas basketball,
Dude,
I think
Marcus
we don't
Smart.
condition. Sorry, go ahead.
Marcus Smart.
Oh, Garrett, LaMarcus Aldridge, Miles Turner. You go down the list. For me, I went to Plano East, and so I grew up watching Jimmy King of the Fab. I idolized him as a young kid going to his basketball camps, and there's watching Trey or that watch some of the Cason, and they want to be the next guy. Yes, it's part of the game. Those prep schools are kind of loading up and promising. The game is changing a little bit with some other things like NIL, but at the end of the day, directors, media people here in Dallas, and we're going to still continue to do a great job, and we're going to coach. And I think parents will also realize that you've got things right here in Dallas that can get you and your son to achieve the dreams he wants to.
Yes, sir. That is so true. The last thing I got for you, man. I've seen you coach your little girls' basketball team.
Yes.
You got to tell me, man, does that keep you grounded?
Well, yeah, let me share the funny story. So I from filming the games and stuff, and so I'm there at Sportsplex, and one of my daughters is in over there, and I got my youngest daughter, Sammy's 9 at the time, and I see Craig over there, and I said, Sammy, you see that guy over there? And I send Sammy, I said, go ask him if he'll teach you how to show. This says a lot about you, Craig, but Sammy runs over there, and she doesn't know you from Adam, but she's a confident kid. She doesn't mind talking to people, and so sure enough, Craig is with her for about 20 minutes and has her shooting threes and is helping her with their form, and that for Sammy, I think I may need to send her back to you for some more lessons. I mean, you're a passionate guy, a gym rat that loves basketball, and that was really cool to see. But sorry, going back to I mean, I coach my girls at times, and I get to coach my youngest right now, and it's definitely a good change of pace to go down and teach the basics of the game and be working with some young girls that they listen and they do what you ask them to do, and it's fun. It's getting back to the basics of the game and having fun with it and teaching fundamentals. So I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, man. When she ran up to me, I remember looking at her like, and then I look up and I see you laughing at me, and my buddy that was there, he was like, "Hey, man, this is your time to shine. This is what you've been wanting to do." I was like, "Here we go, man."
I was sending her over there to do, but afterwards she loved it. She was really appreciative. So
that's awesome.
We thank you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having not just helping our guys, but all the guys that you help in Dallas. I mean, it really does mean a lot to these kids. You can get out there and show what their kids can do, and it's just another one of the good guys for Dallas basketball. Be great. So we appreciate it.